Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Today is the 14th of July, 2025. I am Kenny Williamson, your host of Magic Today, the Magic News, brought to you by magicians and magic.com. I see it's the 14th. It appears I did miss the day because the last one was on the 10th. Anyway, FISM has started today. I'm getting pictures and a few videos from people, and we'll be opening a page to keep you all to see a little bit of what's going on at FISM. If you want to send me any of your photos or your videos that you take at FISM, you're welcome to send them to Kenny at magiciansandmagic.com or WhatsApp me, which I'll put the number in the description. Otherwise, let's get going. So the first article that I'm going to put the link to below actually came up today, which is a young magician is secretly perfecting his act for years now, is ready to make history. And it's an interview with Eric Chien. And I got photos with Eric Chien from today with Ryan Blumenthal from South Africa sent a photo through. So it's quite interesting. Anyway, he's going to be bringing a new act. Remember, I don't know if you remember, he had the Black Art Table Act. And he's got a new act, the interview listed. He spent a lot of time with Sean Farquhar. So it's really a really long and interesting interview, definitely worth a read, and we look forward to his performance as well. I will probably send out a few of the FISM as videos on this channel, and I will have a page open for FISM, so I'll put the link to that as soon as I've done it. Just to keep, just for interest's sake. And first up then, after FISM, we have WCIA News, which is in Illinois, and we have Christopher Bontjes. Just give you a bit about what he sounds like, teaching the one-hand knot.
Tricks up his sleeve. But first, he is going to teach you one of his many tricks. Welcome back, and thank you for being here.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
All right, so before we jump right into this trick you're going to show me, can you tell me a little bit about what it's like to be a magician in Central Illinois?
Being a magician anywhere is a wonderful job because we get to share wonder with people. And if you look at a baby looking at the world and all the wonder in their face, we tend to lose that as we grow up.
Right.
And a magician's job is to bring that back.
Well, he put that nicely. So his interview will be in the link below. The link will be in the description below. Next up is a magician we've had on the site for quite a long time, Etienne, and he's in Buffalo, giving a demonstration and chatting about the Niagara Falls Magic Theater, where he's the resident illusionist.
It's a magical experience coming to Niagara Falls in the new performance venue, Niagara Falls Magic Theater. Joining me now is renowned illusionist and resident performer at this new theater, Leon. Welcome, Leon. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. Channel 4, always a pleasure to be in studio. We love you guys.
All right, let's hear about this new theater that is right in the heart of Niagara Falls.
Yeah, so we've done a bunch of shows in Western New York, and we decided it was time to open up our own venue. So we took 8 months, and we renovated a property. It is called the Niagara Falls Magic Theater. It is a brand new performance theater right in Niagara Falls, New York.
So he's opened that Niagara Falls Magic Theater. So I might, let me put a note, and I'll perhaps put that up as a magic event, not a magic club, a place that does magic shows. And we'll go from there. Then we have a podcast. So this magician, Magic by Alfie, whose real name is Matt, got into magic 15 years ago, and he is on a podcast called The Voice. What is it called? Top Magician appears on Your Voice, Dorset podcast. So that's in the UK, obviously. And it's about magic, mental health, and mastery. So he's crossing over into other areas. Good idea. And obviously getting exposure from that. So I'll put that link below. Then another great crossover idea, St. Charles. This is on the shorelocal.com, and magician comes to St. Charles Library. And this is magician William Pack. He's going to be hosting a Brain Hack, the Science of Influence program for adults to learn about the brain's inner workings during this month at St. Charles Public Library. So the dates and times of July 29th, 7 p.m. will be in the link below. That's a good crossover opportunity as well. Keep it in mind for yourselves. Fayetteville. The Fayetteville Observer is publicizing a show by Mike Super, Magic and Illusion. He's performing at 7 p.m. November the 1st at the Crown Theatre, the Crown Complex. And Mike Super is the winner of NBC's Phenomenon, as well as a top finalist on America's Got Talent, the release said. So tickets are available starting at 10 a.m. July the 11th at the Crown Box Office, Fort Bragg Leisure Travel Office. Keep that in mind. Then one for the ventriloquists, Edinburgh Fringe 2025. Have a gander at the Edinburgh Fringe 2025. Lachlan, Werner, WonderTwunk. This is a show that is running shame. Look at his poor little knees if you have a look frozen. It's a theatrical clown, ventriloquist clown theatrical comedy show. I guess genre-wise, it's a bit of an expressionist thriller fairy tale. It's my second solo hour. I'm going to be doing it every night at Pleasantstone this August. Hilarious, extraordinary ventriloquist by The Guardian invites you to roll up and step this way for a new show so strong it's dangerous. And there he is. So that is at the Edinburgh Fringe. Then for the people in India, ventriloquist Satyajit Padhye with the Ravana puppet in Leicester. He was caught walking down the streets there after his performance at the European Marathi Salmon in Leicester last weekend. Ventriloquist Satyajit Padhye bumped into a larger-than-life 10-headed Ravana puppet walking the streets. Anyway, and he talks a little bit about what's going on with the puppet and how his family had puppets starting in 1920. He learned his father learning ventriloquism, his grandfather. There's already rumblings for the James Phelan, the show for next year, The Man Who Was Magic. Magic is in his bones, this belief, flabbergasted, stunned. Joel Dammit meets David Blaine. Dare to believe in magic as the UK's #1 magic show returns with a completely new and uplifting production for 2025. You're invited to a night of wonder as secrets unravel and the impossible becomes possible, and so on. And when and where, Tiverton Community Arts Theatre, Saturday, March 26, 9:30 from £25. It's already saying book now, so I suppose you better book now. Then we have Byron Grey. I seem to remember having him on the news recently, which would make sense, as he is doing, in the mornings, he does the children's shows, and in the evenings, he has been giving out lectures on basically the history of magic. Youth Services Coordinator Stephanie Burr said the afternoon performances were pretty well attended, and according to the Children's Department, the illusions on display sparked an interest in many a young spectator. Let's get to where it says he starts back towards the through history. His Gray's short jaunt through history provides some interesting connections in the development in the stage magic to how it exists in the modern day. Starting way back in humanity's past, Grey discussed ancient stories from Greece, Egypt, and Rome, noting the use of hydraulics and misdirection as part of religious ceremonies. So that sounds quite an interesting talk. And that was held, my goodness me, it was at a public library. Let me find the place. Campbell County Public Library. So that's also interesting to see a magician giving history talks on that. It's surprising there would be a market for that, to me. Next up, we travel to the Wenatchee World. Website is wenatcheeworld.com. And Brian Ledbetter, who is a Seattle magician, will be performing on July the 18th in Chelan. And it is a discussion with him, obviously to market the show, but there's a discussion about his character and what illusions are going to be in the show and so on. That's also quite interesting. That will be linked below. Then we go to 4WWL TV, and you have local magician Michael Dodon. Magic Mike is back to share some.
Hello, beautiful people, and thanks so much for watching us here on the Great Day, Louisiana. I'm Malik Mingo. Happy Friday. Happy weekend. I hope you're feeling well today. As always, we have a great show for you all. Okay, We've got some magic for you on this Friday. A couple of months ago, we had Michael Dardin, also known as Magic Mike, on the show, and he truly blew my mind, okay? So we've invited him back to see what new tricks he has up his sleeve. Please help me welcome back Mike to the show. Thanks for being
And
here.
Thank you so
there's
much for
Magic
having me
Mike.
back.
Still no
Love it.
strippers, still no pole. What's going on, Magic Mike?
It's just
Link below, as per usual. Then we have an article on George Méliès, who brought magic to the movies. And it's in thecollector.com. And he was an early filmmaker and obviously a magician. Let's get back down. He was born in 1861 to a family of luxury shoemakers. Since childhood, he had a penchant for the arts, drawing monsters, characters, and fantastical landscapes all over his notebooks. No, that is quite fantastical. Anyway, despite his father's disapproval, Méliès went on to become a stage musician. In the theatre, he put his artistic skills and the mechanic knowledge from working at the family factory into developing his own tricks and illusions. So, yeah. By the time Lumière's invited him to their cinematographic projection in 1895, Méliès was a successful illusionist and a long-time director of the Theatre Robert Houdin. That article will be linked below. Then we go back to the UK, Aberdeen. Site called list.co.uk. The show called The Four Magicians is Smith and Burns, Eden Smith, and James Dixon. Is backed by popular demand after a sellout show earlier this year. Four Magicians returned for a fundraising performance in support of the Save Aberdeen Arts Centre campaign this August. Four of Scotland's leading magicians come together for an evening like no other. Minds will be read, laws of nature will be defied, dad jokes will be told. And hope mom jokes. Apparently there are some mom jokes. And that is at the Aberdeen Arts Centre, Saturday, 16th of August, 2025 at 8 o'clock. Tickets are from £12.50. The Four Magicians. Then we have a magician who teaches transportation directors about connection at the STN Expo West. And this was it was at Incline Village, Nevada. John Petz, a former sales executive turned professional magician and the world's only amazement artist, demonstrated through magic tricks and puzzle solving that moments of amazement can provide opportunities for real connection. And it gives a bit of a review on what he did that day to the staff. So that is worth having a quick read. Then we go to Uvalde, magician and ventriloquist Joe Libby will perform his colourful comedy magic show 2 p.m. Wednesday, July the 16th at Sabinal Public Library and at noon Wednesday, July the 30th at El Progreso Memorial Library in Uvalde. The approximately 40-minute shows are free and open to the public. And there's a little story about that below. Then I'm going to put the links to two reviews done by, one is on the New York Theatre.me and one is on EXE Ant New Y City, NYC.com. XE Unt. I don't know. Somebody else, I must understand what that means. And it's about a new show, open review, a love story held together by magic. But it's quite interesting when you read the two reviews together from two different perspectives. However, let me just give you a little bit. They met by magic. Open, a one-woman play by Crystal Skillman that opens today at WP Theatre uses magic tricks as both method and metaphor for telling the story of both of the two women and of the way Kristen processes her grief. But it takes a while to realize that's what's going on. Megan Yule, dressed in top hat and gaudy jacket, introduces herself as a magician presenting a magic show, or rather a deliberate simulacrum of a magic show. Fans of actual magic shows, be forewarned. The result is a production that's clever, it's also confusing and ultimately haunting. So there you have. I'm going to put both reviews links below and you can decide for yourself. Then we have Winston the Magician, and that is at Corcoran Branch Library in Corcoran, and Winston the Magician will be performing on July the 21st at 1 to 2 p.m. Join Winston the Magician as he presents a show that blends comedy, magic, music, and puppets into a totally unique, one-of-a-kind, fun extravaganza that you will never forget. The event is free and part of the Kings County Library's summer reading program. And my mouse is back. And let's give a little shout out as well to another magic shop, Merlin's of Wakefield. It's one of the latest businesses to benefit from a series of grant schemes offered by the Wakefield Council to help support the district's high streets. Magician Supplies was established in 1995 by professional magicians Phil Peters and Mark Lee. And this is one of the world's most successful magicians. Dynamo said on a recent BBC Radio 4 interview that this shop was where he first developed his love for magic. And they have been approved for 2 grants. One is for security system, and the other that they want to use, they want to branch out and include sales of antique collectible magic props and paraphernalia. The grant will enable them to invest in the design of a new website to improve their online sales channels. Oh, they should have just given me a shout. Anyway, that will be all for today, folks. And I will be busy with the FISM stuff, so you'll hear from me again within the next 24 hours. Ta-ta. Thank you so much.